Hi everyone in English 2323, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 12 instructional video. I'm just going to jump right in, show you where to go and what to do, although I'm going to apologize ahead of time because I may start losing my voice and sound sniffly. That front is really blowing in some stuff, right? All right, so we're into week 12. You do have a few things to read. The first is going to be the biography of Derek Walcott, and then also one of his texts entitled A Far Cry from Africa. You'll also read a text by Chinua Achebe, but you'll also need to read his biography first, but his text is entitled A Civil Peace. It doesn't look like a lot of reading, but it can be deceptive. It's intensive reading. It's reading you really want to engage with, so set aside some time. Don't read everything back to back. Really, engage with what it is that has been assigned this week. I put a note here that I want you to work on revising and editing your portfolio assignment, but it's going to be due when we return from the break. So let's jump down here. Originally, we were going to have the portfolio due on Sunday, but I just didn't feel like it was fair to provide feedback to you, sometime during this week that you would then have to turn around and submit in a really large assignment. That just didn't seem fair. It's taking me time to go through and provide the kind of feedback I really want you to think of as valuable. So if you give me just a bit more time, I'll do that. But if you want to get that off of your plate and you get that feedback from me and you want to turn it around and submit it on Sunday because you know you're going to have all these other things and other classes coming up, you are welcome to do that. Just make sure that you've taken a look at my feedback before you submit that final version. It's 200 points, right? So just keep that in mind. All right. So you do have a discussion post that's going to be due on Thursday. You don't have to respond to one another. I mean, it's nice to do that, but we have some stuff going on this week and that's okay. Your participation quiz, and then you'll have your multimedia project plan. So last week you watched a video, we thought about the multimedia project. So I want you to make a plan. So if we scroll down, it's helpful to review those guidelines and everything that's required of that assignment. Here's the portfolio rubric if you want to take a look at that and review those before submitting if you want to submit a bit early. And these are the written response prompts. So if you need to go back and double check that you have attended to all elements of the prompts for that portfolio, then you can definitely do that. All right. I'm going to scroll down because we do have a discussion. If you click on this link, it will take you to an area where you're going to focus on Walcott and Achebe, and then both Walcott and Achebe. So after reading their biographies and the texts, I want you to think about in one paragraph with quotes to support your ideas, why do you think Walcott introduces the I voice at the end of the poem? That's a choice. That's intentional. Why? How would you describe the I? And what conclusions does he come to about himself? So push your thinking, push your ideas. For Achebe's work, in one paragraph, same thing. What does Achebe mean by a civil peace? What in his text leads you to this conclusion? So you're supporting your ideas again. And then you're going to compare and contrast, right? So what connections do you see between these two pieces? Remember that you can compare and contrast from different perspectives. It's not just about the topic, right? It's not just about the context. If you want to focus on their writing styles or the language choices they make or the way they develop their ideas, I mean, you can come at this from any particular, you can look through any kind of lens to do this kind of analysis. You can think about their biographies, their authorial choices, anything that shows some sort of, that shows you are engaging with these two texts and you can think about them side by side in some particular way, even if it seems really random, but you're pulling ideas and supporting your ideas. If you struggle with this part, let me know. We can set up a time to meet and have a discussion. I'm happy to do that. If something just doesn't come when you read both of those texts or both of those biographies. All right, if we go back to the week 12 module, you do have a quiz. No surprise there, right? But then you do have your multimedia project plan, and this is why I urge you to just revisit those guidelines just to make sure that you don't have any questions, right? So you can look at the guidelines here, and then you'll submit a document that probably by this point looks very familiar. It's a template that I use a lot because it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to answer every element here. So I put for this assignment, you'll want to envision your project, really think about a timeline and how long it's going to take you to complete this work, and provide complete drafts for 3 of your paragraphs, including integrated quotes. I want to make a note that I don't believe I ask you for all 3 paragraphs in the work. I ask you to really think about the first and second paragraph. But that third paragraph is about you, like how did you grow, or how do you have a new perspective after completing this project? Well, you can't ask you for that ahead of time, right? So it's for the first 2. All right, so first, what text or author from the course inspired your project and why? Okay, so if you're doing A Mouse's Petition by Anna Leticia Barbald, what about it? Why did you choose that? Do you like poetry? Do you like mice? Do you like this time period? What is it that really spoke to you and got you interested? And I put a note here, your responses to this question and the following, right, these 2, will become the basis for your first paragraph. Okay, so the first, describe your project. How will you address or analyze the text, idea, anything, whatever it is that you've chosen to focus on? Are you going to use a video, a PowerPoint, anything? I want you to think about your colleagues who they're going to go in and they're going to look at your project, because this will be posted in the discussion area, before they click on that link to look at your video or click on the document to open your PowerPoint. Tell them what they're looking at, right? Because sometimes they'll look and go, well, what is this? I don't get it. That paragraph is really giving some context. It's you saying, I chose this text or I chose this author because I really wanted to explore this, or because it was interesting to me in this way. I wanted to do a video because I haven't tried it before, or I wanted to bake a cake that had a picture of the Mouse's Petition on it, or whatever the case may be, because I wanted to try this. You know, I'm not an artist, but I wanted to give that a chance. Or, you know, I mean, it's just giving some information, giving some background, giving some context in a very complete and thorough paragraph. All right. How will you show effort? So if you wrote a poem or something like that, how will your audience know that you committed time and energy? Are you going to show drafts? Are you going to put images in a PowerPoint? Part of this is the effort, right? Because if you are not a baker, if I just see a picture of your cake at the end, what if it looks pretty bad, right? I want to see the effort that went into it, because this is not necessarily me looking for perfection. Your colleagues aren't looking for perfection. We're looking at how much work you put into it, how much thought you put into it. So if you're baking a cake, you're taking a quick video of you walking to the store to get the ingredients, and then a picture of all the ingredients, and then you're stirring and you're decorating, and every step along the way that really gives us a sense of, okay, this took some time, this took some effort. There are only about 2 things I can think of that wouldn't require that kind of visual when it comes to effort. The first is a video. A video speaks for itself because you have it edited. Sometimes there's music, or there's your voice narrating in the background. It takes time to do that, so the effort is there. The other thing may be a PowerPoint if it's informational. So if you wanted to dig into, I'm using her again as an example, the life of Anna Leticia Barbald outside of just what we learned in our book, and you do research and you're pulling that information in, all of that is clear in the PowerPoint, not only in how the PowerPoint looks, but also in the information that you're using to support your ideas, in the in-text citations, pulling all the sources that you have used to pull all of her biography and background, all the citations for the images that you may use and pull from the internet, that kind of thing. So those are kind of the 2 examples I can think of where the effort is already present, it's already visible. Okay. What is your general timeline for completion? And I put, really think about all that it will take. Going back to that original text, creating the actual project, completing the essay, uploading it to D2L, revising, editing. I want you to think about actual days, hours, etc. This is useful for me to know, but it's more for you to really start seeing how long it's going to take. And I would definitely round up instead of down in terms of time. What day are you going to go shopping for ingredients, or go to Michael's for crafting products, or whatever the case may be? What day are you going to do the research for the text and pull quotes and review it because you haven't seen it in a while? you know, how many hours is it going to take to film this video, and then how many hours to edit it, and how many hours to revise your paragraphs, or whatever the case may be. I really want you to start thinking of that now, because like I said, we're getting into the point of the semester where things are going to start moving very quickly. We have final exams coming up, that kind of thing. So I want you to have a clear sense of how long it's going to take to complete this work. And if you need to maybe come up with a different idea because you see how much time it's going to take, now's the time, right? This is a space for your complete draft of the second paragraph. This is where the citations, the research come in, right? This is a research-based project. This second paragraph needs to be dynamite, right? It needs to pull in quotes that really support your ideas, not just a quote that's dropped into the middle of the paragraph, or a paragraph worth of quotes, you know, or a quote at the end that has no explanation. This is integrating your chosen quotes into your paragraph, showing exactly what about that text or that author or whatever it is we read really made an impact. How did what you read on the page lead to what we are seeing in your project? That's the second paragraph. It should be in depth. It should have research to support your ideas just from our primary text, just from our book, right? All right, so fully explain how this research led to your project. Okay, so this is something you'll save and upload to the assignments area in D2L. So I do want to go back to the table of contents just to mention a quick spot. So if you go to this area right here, there's an MLA module that has some links in the video. This is something I actually use for my 1301 courses, but it has examples of how to integrate quotes, how to utilize in-text citations. So just know that this is here. It's a tool in your toolbox when it comes to making sure that you're following MLA guidelines, not only for the project and thinking about the project plan, but also for the portfolio, especially for the portfolio, right? All right, and I also want you to consider going to the Student Success module, because there is a new section there entitled Bonus Events or Workshops. So if you click on this link right here, oh goodness, let me pause. All right, so sorry about that. So if you click on this link, it will take you to this area. And part of this developed because there is a talk coming up this week entitled India, a Mosaic of Cultures and Contrasts. It's on Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. And here's the link. It's a virtual event. Here's a little flyer. It seems like a fun opportunity to kind of get out of our heads and, you know, visit and think about these other ideas. You don't have to talk to anybody. You can just attend. But it's happening at a specific time on a specific day, and that may not work in your schedule. So I wanted to also provide some asynchronous opportunities. If you scroll down, there are some links to different, you know, self-care and building communities, study strategies. Here's a link from our advisor, Miss Casey Timmy, on effective job search strategies. So there are opportunities for everyone, right? You don't have to have a particular day and time to complete this. So if you go back to the overall module, there is a form that you would complete and submit in the assignments area. And again, will look very familiar. Oh my goodness. Sorry, hold on. D2L is riding my last nerve. Sorry, y'all. So if you click on this, it will take you to the assignment area. And if you click on the form, oh my goodness, hold on. This is very frustrating. All right, y'all, this is the form. And again, looks familiar. And this is where you just kind of respond in, you know, complete sentences, revised and edited, very in depth about the event, right? Just show what you know, what you learned, where you went. And then you'll upload that in the assignments area of D2L. If you go to the module, it talks about what's the maximum number of events you can attend, that kind of thing. But if you have questions about this, or if you have questions about anything, you know, I covered in the video or things that are coming up, please feel free to reach out to me. But as always, think about posting in that Q&A discussion area. All right, y'all, good luck this week.